Good morning, friends. It's great to see you all. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook, located on the ancestral lands of the Settlecot people. My name is Carol Castillo, and I am very happy to be your worship associate this morning, along with Halasz, Executive Director of Long Island Jobs with Justice. Our Director of Religious Education is Deb Little. This morning, our musicians are Dorothea Cook, Joanne Hammer, Bob Hessner, Pete Kata, Linda Kirk, Laura Lesh, Greg Maggio, Elise Paris, John Seppala, Maureen Shaman, and Bethany Riddle. Thank you all. Our tech team. Oh, and Peter. Okay, Peter and Peter Winkler, hiding back there behind the piano. Our tech team is Linda Cortese, Rich Hall, and Dan Weymouth. Maybe not Linda today. And Rob Pond. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you wherever you may be this morning, whether here in our sanctuary or attending virtually. We are one congregation, worshiping together. Let's wave to the folks at home through the camera on your left. Please plan to join us after the service for coffee and conversation, and also Ani has brought some materials from his organization on a back table. So for those of you who are online, if you sign off after the service and return to our website, you'll find a link for joining small group chats. And whether you're here or online, you're definitely going to find some friendly people who can answer any questions that you may have. Right now, please just check to be sure that you've silenced your phones or other devices as we prepare for worship. Let us enter into the sacred space of worship with the sounding of the morning bell. Please center yourself and remain silent until the bell can no longer be heard.
With the Union till every battle's won.
Tell me, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Plan.
Which side are you on? 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 Don't stand for the buses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Tell me, which side are you on? 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 Which side are you on?
Yeah.
I have invited Jessica Ryback to light our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, as I share words from Laurel S. Sheridan found on the worship web. And I invite those folks at home, if you'd like to light a chalice or a candle as well while we light ours here in the sanctuary. Take from life its coals, not its ashes. Fan the flames of love and justice. Join hands and hearts in common endeavor, and there will be no limit to what we can achieve together. Okay, our first hymn this morning is number 109 in the Gray Hymnal. In our hymnal, it is called As We Come Marching, Marching, but many of you probably knew it first as a song called Bread and Roses. For those of us unfamiliar with its background, Wikipedia tells us that Bread and Roses is a political slogan as well as the name of an associated poem and song. It originated in a speech given by American women's suffrage activist Helen Todd. A line in her speech about bread for all and roses too inspired the title of the poem Bread and Roses by James Oppenheim, published in the American Magazine in December 1911, with the attribution line, "Bread for all and roses too," a slogan of the women in the West. The poem has been translated into other languages and has been set to music by at least 3 composers. The phrase is commonly associated with the textile strike in Lawrence, Massachusetts between January and March of 1912, which is now often referred to as the Bread and Roses strike. The slogan, pairing bread and roses, is representative of appealing for both fair wages and dignified conditions. So now please rise as you are willing and able, or in spirit, and join in singing hymn number 109.
So our guest speaker today is going to talk about workers' rights, and the Time for All Ages certainly talks about work as it recounts the creation of a dance outfit for a powwow decorated with 47,000 beads. But we also want to recognize the Transgender Day of Remembrance, which occurs on November 20th. This story today is about Two-Spirit First Peoples. Around us, following this election and in the months leading up to it, I am hearing a lot of hate directed at members of the LGBTQIA+ community. As the parent of a transgender adult and as a UU, I feel compelled to step up to protect this community and others who are now being targeted by the president-elect and his allies. I ask you all to consider how you can be present and resist the climate of hate that is sweeping through the country. And now, our Time for All Ages, 47,000 beads. Peyton's Auntie Iota came inside her room. Time for bed, but before sleep, tell me, why do you not dance powwow with us, little one? Peyton shrugged and flopped down on the bed. Come on now, said her auntie, tell me. All in a rush, Peyton said, I don't want to jingle dance, Auntie. I don't want to wear a dress. Peyton, there are many dances, Auntie said gently, and there are many regalias. Peyton started to cry. Finally, she said, there's just none for kids like me. Auntie smiled at Peyton and started undoing her braid. I think I'm beginning to understand. You sleep now. Tomorrow is a new day, and I know someone who can help. In the morning, Auntie Iota baked bread and went to see a friend. She found Elle working and said, "Oh, how's it today, grandparent?" Elle put down their tools and answered, "It's a good day. What can I help with, Iota?" Auntie Iota gave Elle the bread she'd baked, and they sat down in a shady spot. Auntie explained that she wanted to talk about her niece, Peyton. Elle asked, Peyton is the small, quiet one? I've noticed that she keeps time with her feet, but she doesn't dance. She looks at the dancers like she wants badly to dance. She's a shy child? Peyton is special, grandparent, different. I think her path is Two-Spirit. I think she wants regalia like her brother and uncle. She feels alone, but I want to show her that she's not. Well, said Elle, I'm happy to share teachings with her and to guide while she learns which path is hers to take. But I think you need more than just that, yeah? Iota laughed. You saw that too. I was hoping you'd help me with getting regalia together for her, the kind she really wants. I know it's a lot to ask. It's a big job, yeah? But that's why we have a community. Let me ask around. Are you still beading too, Iota? Let's draw it up. They sat and drew pictures of all the parts of a regalia for Peyton to wear. On the way home, Iota called her sister Chapa and asked if she'd make Peyton's new beaded belt and headband. Maybe use lots of orange, it's her favorite. Then she sat down with Peyton's mom, Mika, to explain. They spoke late into the night. Peyton's mom asked, should I be worried? No, sister. You should make her a ribbon skirt and pants to match. You'll see, she'll finally get out in the arena where she's meant to be. Auntie sent an email to the grandmother who first taught her how to bead, who said she would be glad to help, even if she needed a magnifying glass to see the tiny beads on Peyton's harness and apron. Auntie Iota called her cousin all the way in Montana, who said he would make a set of beautiful armbands and cuffs. And finally, Elle offered to make Peyton's moccasins. They had turtles on the toes to give endurance for the dance and to make Peyton's feet feel grounded in the earth. Peyton was in her room getting ready for the giveaway and potluck. It was one of her favorite and best parts of the powwow. When they got to the potluck, Auntie Iota said, "Peyton, I have a special giveaway for you this time. Our whole family wants to give this gift to you, but the person to give it is a new teacher for you." Taking Elle by the hand, Auntie Iota said, "This grandparent will give you stories and help you find your path." "Aho, grandchild," said Elle. "I have such stories to tell about people from all the nations who carry two spirits inside of them." Then Elle handed her the gifts, saying, "Peyton, your community stands behind me to give you these gifts, and may you dance strong in it tomorrow." The next day at the powwow, in the arena, with her auntie drumming an honor song, Peyton was finally dancing as herself, not as a boy or a girl, but as Peyton in her 47,000 beads. So may it be. So now I would like to invite our teachers to stand. So we have Michelle and Melissa. It's been a busy week. Michelle and Melissa teaching in the K through 4. You can go back to the door. And Jamie and Carrie teaching in the middle school. So kids and youth, go ahead and join your teachers back there. And I invite everyone to open one of the hymnals to the very back, and you will see the Reeb Children's Benediction, which we will sing as the children and youth leave for their classes. Thank you. Meditation time. Our reading will be followed by 1 minute of silent meditation, and then after that, Bethany will bring us out of the silence with hymn number 157 in the gray hymnal, Step by Step, the Longest March. We will sing it together 2 times through. You may wish to open your hymnal to that page now before we begin. So this is Meditation on the Power of We. It's written by Elandria Williams. Put your feet down because we're about to do embodiment. Close your eyes. Breathe in and breathe out. When you hear the word liberation, liberatory spirit, liberatory life, liberatory possibilities, what does that conjure in your soul? When you hear, we are the liberating force, spirit, light, and love, what does that conjure in your spirit? When you hear that we have the power to transform the world around us, what does that mean in your bones? When you hear, we are the people that we have been waiting for, we are, how does that feel in your blood? We are the light, we are the wisdom, we are the ancestors, we are those yet to come.
How do we fully hold all of that in ourselves? Open your eyes, look at the people around you, and go out and organize. At each service, it is our spiritual practice to take a collection which we share with a local organization working for social justice. Our shared plate recipient for the remainder of November will be the Shinnecock Kelp Farmers. This 501c3 organization is the first Indigenous-owned and operated kelp farm on the East Coast. Colonial settlers in the 1600s made deals with the Shinnecock people that reserved for them the right to harvest seaweed. Now, the Shinnecock kelp farmers are reviving this traditional practice. Raising and harvesting sugar kelp is a way to fight water pollution because the kelp absorbs the nitrogen, phosphorus, and carbon dioxide that harms marine life and causes algae blooms. Once harvested, the kelp is used as organic fertilizer. Please give generously to this very worthy organization. For those online, the link to donate is in the chat. Thank you.
Came round, she always stood her ground. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking with the union. I'm sticking with the union. I'm sticking with the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking with the union. I'm sticking with the union till the day I die. Now this union was wise to the tricks of company spies. She could be fooled by the company stool. She'd always organize the guys. She always got her way. When she struck for better pay, she showed her card to the National Guard, and this is what she'd say. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. You workers who want to be free, just take a tip from me. Join your hands, take a union stand into the 21st century. As Angela Davis found, we're all together bound. Let race and class and gender join to stand our common ground. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die.
So it is my pleasure and honor, truly, this morning to introduce today's service leader, Ani Halasz. Ani was born in Transylvania, Romania, and moved to New York City at the age of 4 with his mother, father, and older sister. He moved to Long Island in 2004, where he received a bachelor's and graduate certificate in women's studies from SUNY Stony Brook. In 2009, he went on to receive a master's in disability studies from the School of Professional Studies at CUNY. Ani's organizing journey began when he was an undergraduate student at Stony Brook, where he found interest in issues like corporate accountability, campus transparency, and student power. For 3 years, Ani led Stony Brook's Kick Coca-Cola Off Campus campaign, which successfully ended a decade-long contract with Coca-Cola on the grounds of their international environmental and workers' rights abuses. Ani joined Long Island Jobs with Justice in 2010 as a part-time administrative assistant supporting the programmatic and financial goals of the organization. In 2011, he came on staff as a full-time immigrant rights organizer. During this time, Ani developed and coordinated the Equal Education and Employment Project, providing resources and advocacy opportunities to undocumented students and their families. 2 years later, Ani became the campaign coordinator and supported the strategic development and direction of the organization's immigrant rights and public transportation campaigns. He became executive director in 2014 and has since supported the organization in leading and supporting campaigns and projects that are grounded in a commitment to improving the lives of working people on Long Island, both in the workplace and in the communities where they live. Ani has provided leadership and direction on campaigns and projects addressing workers' rights and worker organizing, equitable and accessible public transportation, deportation and the criminalization of immigrant workers, and police reform. He brings a strong passion for collaborative movement organizing and coalition building to the work he does at Long Island Jobs with Justice. Ani currently lives in Smithtown with his son Dimitri, partner Jessica, and three-legged kitty Butch.
Thank you for the introduction, Carol. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for welcoming me into your sanctuary space. This is not the first time I've been here. I've spoken here many times before, and it surprises me every single time that I'm just as nervous, if not more, to speak to you all. But I often have to say that to get rid of it right away. So thank you for welcoming me. It's an absolute honor to be able to speak in front of you. I'm from Long Island Jobs with Justice. I won't talk endlessly about my organization. What we do very quickly is we are a coalition-based organization here on Long Island. We're part of a national network. And what we do is we build coalition across labor, community, and faith-based organizations around projects, issues, and campaigns that deeply affect the lives of working people on Long Island. And so I'll start off by saying that we've probably all heard the saying, money makes the world go round. You probably heard a couple people sing the little jingle as well. I'd like to switch that up a bit and say, working people make the world go round, while millionaires, billionaires, corporations, and corrupt politicians hoard our wealth. The title of my reflection today is Economic Justice and Our Collective Solidarity, and I hope to convey how inextricably bound those two things are. My reflections come from my own foundational belief that we all deserve equal access to economic opportunities, resources, benefits in order to thrive and live a life of abundance, and that our nation's history of exploiting land, people, and resources does not have to be the final story we tell. Labor truly intersects and influences everything in our daily lives. The food we eat and the products we buy, planted, harvested, packaged, delivered, cooked, and served by workers. How we get to work, the roads and vehicles manufactured and driven by workers. Our homes and communities built, maintained, and repaired by workers. Like that cup of coffee or tea you stopped to get at Starbucks perhaps this morning or yesterday. That drink was most likely made by a barista who is overworked, underpaid, and not treated with the respect and dignity they deserve. The conditions of that barista's workplace, although seemingly removed from the consumption of your drink, is not. They are part of the same story. It's just that one part of the story, the part about the worker, is often never told. Ultimately, labor is not just an economic transaction. It's a reflection of how we value people and how we treat each other. While we often think of work in terms of wages and productivity, labor involves much more than just an exchange of time for money or money for product and service. It's tied to our sense of worth, our social identity, and how we contribute to our families and to the communities we live in. The way workers are treated affects not just their personal well-being, but the well-being of all of us who are touched by their labor. At Long Island Jobs with Justice, we value people over profit and fight to build an economy and world that is responsive to human needs. But that's not easy under the crushing weight of capitalism, where those who control the means of our production and labor are in an endless and limitless pursuit for profit and power. Now, we can certainly debate whether good capitalism can ever exist. Not today, it's too long. But today, where we are now, on November 17th, 2024, as long as the system remains rooted and driven by private ownership and growing profits for the 1%, laboring will remain inherently exploitative and unequal. The only way out is by shifting power back into the hands of working people so that they are determining the conditions of their lives and labor. Capitalism doesn't work for the vast majority of working people. And even if you aren't experiencing exploitation at the hands of a greedy employer, you're still deeply affected by it. Capitalism harms our environment and the earth we all live on. The constant drive for growing profit leads to overexploiting our natural resources, pollution, environmental damage, and ultimately, uncontrolled and unpredictable environmental devastation. Capitalism turns healthcare, education, and housing into commodities, stripping access to these essential services from those who do not have the financial means, and eroding the quality and conditions of these basic needs that we all need and require. Capitalism pits us against each other, and this is the most important one. I have to emphasize this one because this is about human connection and human relation. Capitalism pits us against each other by idealizing competition rather than cooperation. It drives us to compete against each other, see the faults in each other, compete for limited resources, and it distracts us from the real source of inequality: the corporations and the wealthy elites who control the means of our survival. This division weakens our solidarity and clouds our vision. In the end, capitalism's insatiable appetite for profit comes at the expense of our personal well-being, our relationships, our communities, and our planet. But workers have fought back. This is not just a devastating story I want to tell. Workers have fought back. Through strikes, protests, and organizing efforts of the past and the present, workers have stood up to corporate greed and demanded fair treatment, better wages and working conditions, and the right to organize. Today, and this is where I might get a little bit boring, so bear with me, because I would not be a good organizer if I didn't try and bring you some information that you can walk away with, to know your rights, to know the rights of your laborers, to know what laws and protections there are out there when it comes to labor. But I'm going to try and do it in the fastest way and the least boring way possible. Today, workers are protected by a variety of federal and state labor laws, including minimum wage and overtime pay set by the Fair Labor Standards Act. Workplace safety is enforced by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Anti-discrimination laws like the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Prop 1 that just passed prevent employment discrimination and so many other forms of discrimination based on race, gender, religion, and other protected identities. The Family and Medical Leave Act allows workers and parents to take time off for family and medical reasons without losing their jobs. The National Labor Relations Act protects workers' right to organize unions. Workers' compensation provides financial support for workers injured on the job, and unemployment insurance offers temporary income for those who lose their job. Other safeguards include laws against child labor, wage theft, and whistleblower retaliation, and so much more. But despite these protections, we know that gaps remain. We know that labor laws are loosely enforced, and we know that workers remain excluded from necessary social supports like unemployment insurance, health insurance, housing, and education. And now, there is so much more at stake in the upcoming years. A second Trump term will undeniably favor corporate interests, and this will have serious implications for working people and the rights workers have fought for. Pro-corporate deregulation and tax cuts for the rich will make it harder for workers to negotiate fair wages and workplace safety. More workers will be left at greater risk for injury and job loss, and potentially death. Laws like the Fair Labor Standards Act that protect minimum wage and National Labor Relations Act that protect organizing, a worker's right to organize, will be eroded and gutted, making it easier for employers to suppress worker wages and fire them for engaging in any collective action. Unionization will certainly be throttled more so than it is now, making it more difficult to win union contracts, further tilting the balance of power into the hands of greedy employers, corporate CEOs, and the rich. A weakening of social programs and safety nets would make it even harder for workers to access essential services and benefits like health insurance and unemployment insurance. Immigrant workers, the backbone of our economy, will be targeted and subjected to deportation, increased workplace exploitation and abuse, and restricted access to vital social, economic, and health safety nets. I don't mean to scare us. I'm just speaking reality because I think that's sometimes necessary. Economic inequality will deepen, and the ultra-rich will continue to grow their power and control our economy and our daily lives, very much the way that we've seen them become so rich just in the past 2 weeks. I don't mean doom and gloom, and I know hearing this can feel scary, depressing, overwhelming, and perhaps even hopeless at times. It's okay for those things to surface. It's okay to feel those things. In fact, I encourage us to feel them because it's important to know and understand the reality in which we live so that we know how and where to move forward. And right now, when the tactics being pulled from the inequality playbook are all about division, separation, and fear of the other, our defense must be centered on solidarity, connection, and mutual care. And why is solidarity such an important ingredient in all of this? And this is the positivity. Because solidarity is where our power rests. Solidarity is what our faith calls us back to know and value the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and respect the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. Solidarity. A word we hear and speak often in the face of injustice. But what does it mean? Simply defined, solidarity is when we unite to support one another. That's an easy definition. It's based on the idea that we're all connected, and when we stand together, we're stronger and more capable of making real change. Solidarity is more necessary than ever before. I'm sure you've heard that many times in the past week or so, many times in the past couple of years. Personally, I can't wait for the day we can stop saying that. And I don't mean to say that cynically, I'm very serious. I long for the day when solidarity is no longer cried out for. I long for the day when solidarity is as rhythmic and automatic as the flow of our breath. Because as long as we share time on this earth together, we are inextricably and undeniably connected to one another. And that is a beautiful and powerful thing. But the principle of solidarity can be overused and misunderstood. When we cry out for it sporadically, our interdependence is abandoned and solidarity becomes a momentary act. Solidarity should never be a momentary act. It should not be something we only activate in times of crisis. Solidarity is a practice. It is something we must do over and over and over again. It is something that needs to be so ingrained in our daily lives and routines that we don't even need to think about doing it. We just do it. We know to show up for someone else's struggle because their freedom cannot be separated from ours. Signing petitions and making phone calls to people in power is one way to practice solidarity, but there must be more than that. We must also listen, learn, and lean into challenging unjust power every step of the way. This means we commit to sharing space with workers, learning more about their lives and how we can be in service to defend their rights, and ultimately our collective liberation. This means we bring their message back to the many other spaces we occupy, and we help others understand what is at stake for all of us. This means we show up beside workers and confront their employers with them. This means we invite others to show up as well. But most importantly, a practice of solidarity requires a commitment to questioning power, that which sits outside of us and oppresses us, and that which sits within us and limits us. But even if we can ward off the ensuing attacks that are to come, even if policy change is secured, the conditions will not immediately improve for workers. In fact, they've just worsened for workers as time has gone. To counteract the individualism, competition, and division that oppression thrives on, we need to build spaces and strategies that strengthen our collective solidarity to one another. It is through connection, community, and solidarity, a solidarity that embodies the beauty and value of our shared struggle, a solidarity that is about building and interweaving communities and sustaining processes of love and growth rooted in our shared humanity. Beyond politics and beyond laws, workers, and I would argue all people, all of us, need community more than anything. We need to feel heard, and we need to know we are not alone. We need a reassuring sense that our lives are significant and that we matter. We need to feel connected to people and the things outside of ourselves so that we can see how badly we need each other. We need deep, lasting change because we all long to be free. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our final hymn, number 1028 in the Teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment. This is Go in Peace, Seeking Justice by Jim McGaw. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in mindless oblivion. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go without challenging yourself or others. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in utter ease or comfort. When I say go in peace, I mean go in peace, seeking justice. I mean go in peace, committed to equal rights and opportunities for all. When I say go in peace, I mean go in peace, go in the peace that is created when together we build communities of true solidarity, deep compassion, and fierce, unrelenting love. Go in peace.
And I'm just going to invite us all to wave goodbye now to the people who are at home.
You won't live to see the future that you fight for. Maybe no one gets to reach that perfect day. If the work is never over, then how do you keep marching anyway? Do you carry your banner as far as you can, rewriting the world with your imperfect pen, till the next stubborn girl picks it up in a picket line over and over again, and you join in the chorus of centuries chanting to her? The path will be twisted and risky and slow, but keep marching, keep marching. Will you fail or prevail? Well, you may never know, but keep marching, 'cause your ancestors are all the proof you need that progress is possible, not guaranteed. It will only be made if we keep marching on. Keep marching on.
Keep marching on.
Keep marching on.
Keep marching on.
And remember every mother that you came from. Learn as much from our success as our mistakes. Don't forget you're merely one of many others on the journey every generation makes. We did not end in justice, and neither will you.
But still we strive, and we know you can do. Make peace with our incomplete power
And use it for good, 'cause there's so much to do. The gains will feel small and the losses too large. Keep marching, keep marching. You'll rarely agree with whoever's in charge. Keep marching, 'cause your ancestors are all the proof you need that progress is possible, not guaranteed. It will only be made if we keep marching on. Keep marching on.